I was really hoping for the jungle look because there's a lot of cool nuances, but I guess you'll have to wait for the video now. Anyway, back to the overall team compositions because we got way too caught up in that excitement. Immortals, they just continued down the same game plan. You can tell in the first 3 picks, they want to go very standard front to back. They even put a Braum there to make it the beefiest of front lines.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of disengage there, but Orianna, of course, going to try and scale to have those shockwaves to make room for Altec. I think this draft on the TSM side actually gives them quite a lot of possibilities in the early game. Since they did lock in the Lee Sin, Lee Sin's advantage over Trundle is the mobility that he has just in spades over Trundle. There's so many opportunities for Lee Sin to make plays on lanes and to kind of ignore a lot of what Trundle's trying to do as he tries to run after you and catch up and bite you.
Just jump away.
Excited to get into it. We are going to have the full tank Aftershock Fiddlesticks coming from the solo lane. Now, on live, it was taken down a little bit in power because they reduced the damage of your W drain to minions by 10%, but it's still higher than what it was previously.
Yep, and for all players who may not be super familiar with sort of how Fiddlesticks changed, I think one of the biggest things that catches people off guard playing against this champion now is people remember Fiddlesticks' drain as walk out of it because obviously that's the natural counter, but so much of the damage is in there if you stay towards the very end and have it proc at the end for that max HP bonus.
Yeah, you get some burst at the end. Nice little kick.
It bursts at the end, so even if you can only manage to walk out of the last half second, you need to do it, as sOAZ could be in some trouble here. Walking away from the entirety of TSM, they will not be able to close the gap and actually CC him. Doublelift just grabs some extra damage. sOAZ gives him the emote, says, yeah, sure, okay, see ya. And he'll go back to base in plenty of time. This isn't going to have any effect on the lane. There is no.
I really like this. sOAZ is one of the most veteran players that you can even have on a League of Legends team. He has been playing since the beginning of competitive League of Legends Season 1, and he recognizes there's no crowd control. Even though Doublelift has an inside track on me on the top side, I will just run straight through the Kaisa. So good job for sOAZ, just keeps a level head, and he's able to walk his way out of that one. Good attempt from TSM to get that pincer move and try and get a summoner or something, but because they don't have the best level 1 champions for pulling it off, they don't have the crowd control, sOAZ is able to shrug it off. I will say
you can actually see a little bit of what we were talking about with the Fiddlesticks little burst at the end of the drain there as he was farming up in the mid lane. Even onto the minions, it just ticked down a little bit and then poof, right there at the end hits you a little bit harder as Spica might just invade Potluck here at level 2, but Potluck is aware that Spica's making his way in here.
Big brain.
Oh,
he's going to get the bite. If Lee Sin walks right up to you, then it's such a big advantage for the Trundle, but the extra ward, Spica's not going to just jump right into it. And he's got a pushing top lane since he has the Sett into Ornn matchup. That is full priority towards the Sett. And meanwhile, Fiddlesticks, that was the effigy flash, so everybody's going to freak out when they start seeing a lot of flash animations.
Fiddle flashes, yeah.
Yeah, your ward turns into the effigies, of course, that will flash and try and make your opponents freak out. But again, you just try and shove the wave. Even though on live the damage got taken down to minions a little bit, it's still really potent in doing it. And I just wanted to tack on your point about the burst at the end for the W. It's very important that you finish the drain because not only is the burst damage there, but it refunds 60% of the cooldown. Here's Spica, level 3, looking at the dive.
This could be really good or really bad, depending on how clean they play it. Let's see, it's a 3-man dive, sOAZ with a 3-man knockup. Looking to survive this one if he can, but the Haymaker is there. Broken Blade will take one last turret shot on the way out, and TSM, they do it right, and they get the first blood.
And you see how calm they are. They just group up, they wait for the knockup before starting it out. Now, if Broken Blade doesn't tank, they can have someone else tank. Bjergsen's going to do the tanking.
Bjergsen tanking up, flashing away. Can't go back underneath the turret now. A little bit more damage will do it. Spica will fall here. So it is a 1-for-1 trade. However, sOAZ now dead twice. Teleport expended. Minions being lost. Look, another wave just colliding with this tier 1 turret, ready to die for nothing.
Exactly.
TSM happy to take that trade.
Exactly, Flowers. The reason they're willing to recommit to that dive is because now without the teleport, sOAZ loses out on so much extra experience. It does mean their bottom side is very weak. Everybody else has been top side for so long.
Four-man dive coming in, but Potluck is immediately tanking the turret. The minions were not there yet, so he has to dip out incredibly quickly, but not so quickly that they don't accomplish the mission. Immortals will grab the kill onto Doublelift. Biofrost barely keeping himself alive there. And remember, Doublelift is not playing a teleport 80 carry. He has heal on the Kaisa, so this is a lot of minions that he'll be missing out on now as well.
Yeah, his only tiny saving grace is the cannon minion does tank a lot of turret shots, so actually he's probably not even going to get back in the experience range for any of these, even with the kind of added boosts where now you get even more speed coming out of the fountain for early deaths. Here's another look. I believe this is the first time around. Yeah, this is going to be the first one. Again, the patience I was talking about where TSM group up around sOAZ, they don't start the dive. You see nobody's tanking the tower, and they just wait out the knockup. So really well done. They don't have to get anybody in danger at all for that one. And then as soon as they see the teleport, of course, it's a repeat dive to try and deny some of those minions. But because Immortals answered back so quickly on the bottom side, Immortals are not out of it. They still have life left in them. And the kill went over to Eika in the mid lane on the Orianna. So maybe he'll be able to do a little bit of extra roaming around from the mid lane, because it's very hard to push a Fiddlesticks out of lane. Part of the reason pros have started playing it full tank Fiddlesticks in a solo lane in solo queues because it has so much sustain. It's similar to what people used to have with old Vladimir solo lanes, where you try and sustain a whole bunch, you spam your W on Fiddlesticks, a lot of the harassment gets shrugged off, and you get to push the waves over and over. Dragon, though, will also be picked up by Potluck since they've invested a lot more in the bottom half of the map, and TSM investing a lot topside.
Right, Potluck not going to be contested for this one at all. Back up in the top lane, it is a 20 farm advantage for Broken Blade over sOAZ as well. As bottom side, the 2v2, that doesn't look like it'll probably go too much further. Gate wants to back away before Doublelift is able to get that plasma proc onto him. Does manage to just barely avoid that one. Would have required one more hit there to really set it off. Spica shows up bottom side. He is not seen by the Immortals players. If Gate and Altec get a little bit too hyphy here, if they try to engage, Spica is ready. He's Alcove Gaming right now, trying to set this one up, trying to hide. sOAZ looking for the solo kill onto Broken Blade. He's level 6. Broken Blade is not. One more auto attack would do it, but Broken Blade still having the Haymaker ready to go. sOAZ will not be baited underneath the turret so easily. Gate and Altec stepping forward. Oh, both junglers are here now. Immortals knows that TSM has to be planning
ganking
something.
who, Flowers?
Who's actually the 5-head and who is the 3-head in this situation? We will see.
Wine glass.
allowing their opponents to push up, and now here it goes. TP's also coming in. It's Broken Blade looking to join the fight as Altec's taken very low, taken down over the top rope, and there goes Gate 2. Broken Blade guarantees it, and TSM makes the play.
Spica had so much patience and waited there in the alcove for so long. The observers had time to go up and watch the sOAZ Broken Blade almost kill under the tower, fight down to 10% HP, then still get back in time for the second half of our alcove gaming experience. As Potluck came down, he even got bored to channel his full recall, left the scene, and then that's when TSM strike the perfect opportunity, using their Broken Blade teleport advantage to turn around the bottom side and get them some kills. Now, Broken Blade's the one that actually cashed in on a lot of these kills from the tower dive, from the bottom lane thing here. So the Sett is going to be a very big part of where TSM want to make plays. And yes, him, sir, with no summer spells right now, is having to play weak side and give pressure over, concede it to Gate and Altec.
And you talked in the previous game about Sett and how strong he is in those trading patterns. We'll only see that get worse as things go further ahead with him building these leads. Here's a replay one more time.
Yeah, and I like they start the replay by saying just when Immortals feel confident, okay, we've got the wave pushed in, don't think the gank is actually coming from Spica, but little do they know, Spica's been in that alcove for a good few minutes.
Long time.
Already. In the end, back to business as usual for Immortals, though, and they're cashing in on several turret plates.
Lots of money going into the Immortals' pockets here. They are down about 1,000 gold, so they need to catch up somehow. And turret money should do a good job at helping alleviate some of that. But on the other side, it's TSM who have rotated their bottom lane into the top side of the map. Make sure they have control over this now. They already know they can't go for the Drake because it was previously secured by Immortals, so they go for Rift Herald instead. And with Biofrost and Doublelift up here, this will be the opportunity to potentially use Shelly, get some of that plate money. Remember, the ideal Shelly usage is to kill the last couple of plates instead of the early ones because they're more resistant. Now let's see if Eika will be over here in time to stop this blue steal. I don't believe so. Spica should be able to clean this one up nice and easy before Potluck arrives. Yes, sir. And Gate will look to sweep away some vision as Eika drops the shockwave on himself, trying to get away. Nice pillar coming down. Spica could be in some trouble here. Kicks Eika away, but able to follow after and flash back over the wall to safety. Winter's Bite finds it, but the rest of the damage not quite there. sOAZ will not hit the target with the ram, but now he's able to find some damage onto Biofrost, who gets himself away with a grand exit. Bjergsen now being focused. CC coming down, damage going through. Immortals not finding what they need, and Bjergsen will turn it right back around with the Crow Storm. TSM will take down the Immortals mid laner. They will steal the Immortals blue buff, and they will all walk away.
That turned from Spica kicking him over into the wolves, only to kill him in the wolf pit, and then flashing right back over the wall, over to the blast cone, and having a successful TSM saving Private Spica after his deep mission into enemy territory to take down Eika. Then you thought it was going to be another saving mission. They've got to save Biofrost out of there, but he, on another highly mobile champion, like we talked about in Champ Select, TSM investing so highly in mobility and playmaking for their champions. That little section of skirmish right there really does show those strengths, where Lee Sin and Rakan both able to get out, not allow the kill to go over, not allow those triumph heals to go over or the extra experience to the enemy team. And TSM actually make a successful mission of killing Eika in the IMT jungle and exiting. They still have the Rift Herald, but Dragon spawning now means it's going to need a 5-person reset. Teleport's available for sOAZ, but it would be a very late setup for Immortals.
Also important to note, not all of the ultimates are available again. We're still very early into the game. It's level 1 ultimates for everyone in the game. So considering that last fight wasn't too long ago, you still don't have a Crow Storm available. There's still no Ornn. Subjugate just about now ready to come off of cooldown. So neither team really wanting to fight for that one, and TSM recognizing they have the advantage, they have the priority, they're able to secure it for themselves. And we're on to my favorite rift. The Therapy Dragon has arrived. The Ocean Soul is the name of the game, and not only is it relaxing to look at, but it makes everybody want to fight for every dragon, because nobody wants to lose an Ocean Soul.
Honestly, I feel calmer already. I feel more relaxed.
I know.
How about you?
This is a good vibe, because Friday Night League is supposed to have, we're just chilling, having a good time, right? It's more relaxed. It's more of just kicking back with your buddies on the couch, sharing a Bud Light, watching the games. And now we've got the right riff for it.
Very true. I want to talk about Bjergsen again, revisiting the tank Fiddlesticks build, because it might surprise people a little bit. We're going to get some action on the bottom side first, though. We'll let them play. Spica is heading down for a possible dive.
Oh, he is not waiting around in that brush. Sometimes you'll see the junglers do that, but this time around, patience is not a virtue here. Instead, he's looking to just straight up go in. Altec in some trouble. The quickness will find him. The damage goes through. And ladies and gentlemen, Bjergsen has made his appearance. TSM now trying to get out. Last turret shot will not find its way onto Bjergsen, but sOAZ has arrived to bottom lane. Still focusing that enemy mid laner, still looking for the damage. The drain keeping Bjergsen alive, but it is not enough. The damage from Eika will secure the return kill. Still a 2-for-1 in TSM's favor.
If Eika didn't have his shockwave cooldown right now, I think TSM 100% should have fought that 4v3 on Bjergsen's body, because one of the big things about Fiddlesticks, tank Fiddlesticks build, is you can last so long and bait your opponents by draining on low life like that, since he is building straight into that Spirit Visage with the extra magic resist and cooldown reduction. But obviously the threat of Eika's shockwave is what caused the rest of TSM to pull off of that. Regardless, still a very successful dive for TSM. Spica, kicks Altec over, applies the plasma, allowing Doublelift to use a ultimate to take him down. And with this red smite, maybe Spica's even gonna chase sOAZ off of his Rift Herald. Get away from Shelly.
She made it! With 53 HP left, she makes it to the turret. She manages to grab the plates for the team, just 20 seconds shy of those plates disappearing forever. Let's take another look at the play and the dive as it happened bottom lane.
So, again, look at the mini-map here. TSM know that they've got an extra 10 seconds to pull this play off. Spica gets in line for the double kick there. Altec gets kicked over. Doublelift can then ult to him. If you looked at the middle of your screen, Bjergsen got his ult with Fiddlesticks onto nobody. However, it gets him over the wall. He gets his fear off, which procs his aftershock, allowing him to tank that turret, along with the extra early tank items. And then that's that moment I was talking about where if there was no shockwave, they probably could have turned that, but they already made the call for Spica to start recalling, Doublelift and Biofrost both backing up with just Doublelift kind of thinking about fighting on Bjergsen's body as he made a last stand with the drain. That can definitely be a possibility for baiting a lot of opponents, though.
There's a worse thing to do than err on the side of caution. You don't want to end up taking a fight that loses you 3 guys to a shockwave, as Spica and Biofrost dashing away together. Biofrost with the grand entrance as an exit, Spica dashing to the ward at the same time. Almost made it look like he was dashing to Biofrost as Biofrost moved. It almost looked super coordinated, as Spica could now be in some trouble. Biofrost using the quickness to maybe turn things back around, able to find the charm onto everybody from the side of Immortals. And Altec is already out of this one, Kobe. Gate's about to follow. Flash over the wall just a little bit too early means the resonating strike will follow his movement, and it's 2 dead on the side of Immortals. TSM are just playing this game better. They are playing it more coordinated.
Yeah, we got a front row seat to some of the Hail of Blades Kaisa burst in that one as well. And I think we're also seeing why we've been hearing the TSM teammates are very happy with Spica in the current state. I think he's creating a lot of action for the team with this Lee Sin. He's playing very confidently, and the rest of the team are playing around and off of his plays quite well. Something that people are not really ever expecting with TSM junglers, because they've gone through so many and they have this kind of meme of a reputation. But this is definitely a very proactive look and creating a lot of positives for TSM. They've got a huge early gold lead now. He's not just giving up on objectives either. He's creating plays and then gets Rift Hailed number 2 for the team. This does mean that Immortals will get one of those Ocean Drakes, though.
Or will TSM be there in time to contest this? You can see them rotating down, and Immortals actually focusing on the tier 1 turret first. sOAZ has the Demolish proc, which will secure that one instantly now for the side of Immortals, their first turret of the game. TSM still with a 4,000 gold lead, 16 minutes in. That is an incredibly large gold difference for this point in the game, and it means that Immortals will have to be very careful as to which fights they want to take part in. You only get a couple more mistakes until the game gets to the point where you're not reasonably able to take control back, and TSM will grab this Drake for themselves. Immortals knows, hey, this is only the second one. There's no reason to go in and die for this. It's not really that big of a prize. TSM will take it and proceed on to that second of 4 towards that ever so sought after Ocean Soul.
And Flowers, this is an Ocean Soul map where TSM already have a tank Fiddlesticks. Now, big thing about tank Fiddlesticks, you get to rush the tank item of your opponent's damage type, and we already mentioned that it was going to be obviously Spirit Vicious this time around for Bjergsen. That Spirit Vicious is not only going to make him so ridiculously hard to kill when he's draining with W, that it might force Immortals to use a CC ability on Bjergsen just to stop that, but it also amplifies healing from all sources, including Ocean Drakes, including Ocean Soul, if they get to that point. And we finally are entering the stage where you really get to see the full power of the solo lane tank Fiddlesticks, because the extra experience you get being in solo lane. Bjergsen already level 11, you get your rank 2 ultimate, huge base damages there. So even though you're super tanky with Spirit Visage and moving towards a Frozen Heart for himself to reduce attack speed of the opponents, he still brings the big AoE, silence with the E, as well as possible AoE fears if TSM can control vision. And that is the key to this champion, especially in coordinated play. Creating these pockets of fog of war to allow Fiddlesticks to get these free fears of using abilities from outside of enemy vision. If you're out of combat for 2.5 seconds, you get a fear on any damaging ability, not just your Q.
Also worth noting, there is no viable source of grievous wounds to shut down Fiddlesticks healing right now. Bramble Vest will never be proc.
1v3!
Bjergsen is in a spot where he may just be taken down here. The collapse is there. The drain, he attempts to keep himself alive. Spica's there in time to protect him from the Winter's Bite, and Spica now looking to make the plays. Eika's going to be kicked back. The damage follow-up comes through, and Doublelift is able to find the kill. Eika in full retreat, but the CC will chase after him oh so easily. Potluck probably going to be going down next. It's Broken Blade underneath the turret, tanking everything up. The Haymaker makes sure of it, and TSM find 3 for nothing. You do not simply initiate on to tank Fiddlesticks. sOAZ now likely going to fall down too. Does manage to get himself away. Spica too low to take that resonating strike, and TSM find more opportunities.
Bars, it's like a start of one of those bad bar jokes where they're like, all right, well, a tank Fiddlesticks walks his way into 3 members of Immortals. What happens? Well,
nothing. They can't kill him.
Turns out that's actually one of the most vulnerable positions that you'll see a Fiddlesticks at, is literally just walking up into Fog of War. This is a very old replay, actually, where we saw the top side burst damage. It was Doublelift with the Hell Blades Kaisa, Spica and Biofrost working well in tandem to turn that around and get the pick for the team, getting 2 kills for themselves. When we were talking about, oh my god, this TSM, they're playing so proactively. Currently, coming off of week 1, TSM has the fastest average game time of all LCS teams, and it looks like this one they're pushing ahead at a very quick pace. But back to the memes.
The most important part
of the full tank Fiddlesticks. That's as vulnerable as he gets. You know, just walking up into a brush, like melee range of 3 members. They weren't all carry members of Immortals, but Immortals only have 2 carry members. Everybody else is tank line, so they don't have a lot of DPS that's ever going to be able to take him down. And you already mentioned they also don't have healing reduction, no grievous wounds. So Bjergsen, he pops his aftershock with the fear. He walked away. He did have to get the heal from Doublelift, but they got him out alive.
I mean, technically, Immortals has a Grievous Wounds. Ornn has a Bramble Vest. But I think any world where Fiddles is walking up and slapping Ornn with a 30 damage auto attack is pretty troll. So we're not really ever going to see that, as Doublelift and Bjergsen, they show sOAZ exactly how tanky he is. Spoiler alert, it's not very tanky. As these two are able to work together. You're talking about only having 2 carries. Well, sometimes 2 carries is enough to completely melt the front line when they're both this strong. Bjergsen and Doublelift's combined damage, absolutely incredible 21 minutes into this game.
Yep, we get to see the offensive prowess still there. And again, another one of these highlighting the synergies of TSM. Bjergsen goes in, applies some plasma for Doublelift, and poof! There goes the Ornn. This is now Doublelift with his fully transformed Muramana, Nashor's Tooth, Rageblade, triple item power spike. It is incredibly scary, and again, with the Hail of Blades, has burst damage to take down either Eika or Altec if they get tagged with Plasma, which is easy to do because Lee Sin kicking somebody through the team, Fiddlesticks ulting over a wall, Rakan jumping to Lee Sin and then into the back line, or Broken Blade going for a flank. All of those things can allow Doublelift to be an assassin as the Kaisa and not have to fight front to back like Immortals want to do with their team comp from Champ Select, you know, showing a very standard frontline composition. It's gonna be so difficult for Altec and Eika. So I feel like we have to look at the game from Immortals' perspective because that's hard mode.
Yeah, everything's difficult right now for Immortals. I also want to point out a small detail. That kill that was just acquired by Doublelift and Bjergsen a minute ago was the first kill of the game for TSM that Spica did not participate in. He has had 12 of 13 kill participation on this Lee Sin and has been the absolute catalyst of all this success so far. Cannot understate how good of a game he is having here on this Lee, facilitating the rest of the team, getting to the point where we're able to talk about this incredible lead they have. Back at 16 minutes into the game, I said 4K. That's a rough spot to be in. This lead is now over 8,000 gold 22 minutes in. And when I said if you're Immortals and you're not careful, you're going to get to the point where it's out of your control, it's out of their control. TSM has to screw up. When you're down 8,000 at 23 minutes into the game, the other team has to screw up, and they got to do it pretty badly for you to really have a chance to come back into this game. I would say that TSM's in the driver's seat, and Immortals are stuck in the passenger side hoping for a chance to drive. They're in the trunk. They're trying to figure out a way to get back into the part of the car where you can actually see the road. But it's so hard right now because TSM have just been shutting them down at every opportunity.
They surely have. And again, they're doing a very good job of keeping up the pace of the game. Spica and Biofrost constantly invading together to clear out the vision. Looks like they're trying to pull them over to the Baron right now. sOAZ teleport's available. Let's see if TSM can actually get that cooldown out of Immortals. And they've got the flank.
Oh, this is not ending well for Immortals. I wasn't even going to try to keep up with how fast those health bars were dropping because I knew they were going to be 0 before I finished my sentence no matter what. sOAZ finds the Ornn at the back end of the fight. Biofrost will be taken low, but Doublelift is godlike. TSM is shredding these Immortals players. The entire team evaporates in front of your very eyes, and that's a clean ace for TSM. Baron, naturally the call.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so one-sided right now. TSM are going to take the Baron, and that should be enough for them to crack inside the Immortals space. Probably pushing, towards Nexus turrets with it. Honestly, this last one was just another clip for the Spica highlight reel at the end. Very smooth insect that he had to get the extra kill onto Orianna. Let's take another look at it though. Biofrost, they had just cleared that control ward. He flanks around, he takes down immediate 2 kills right off the board. Then Eika does get a shockwave, and since sOAZ turns around, it looks like Immortals, maybe we can try and chase down a kill here. They used a lot, but Spica slides in so clean, uses the Q hop into the ward hop over behind Eika to kick the last possible threat into the team. And TSM get the ace, they get the Baron. This just looks like them firing on all cylinders. And what a resurgence. From Spica to go from that meme of a Kane game to this, right? Complete dominance.
And now Immortals somehow have to try to survive this. I say somehow because I can't think of a way that they do. TSM have a 5-digit lead 25 minutes into the game. It's a situation where I fully expect them to end the game with this Baron power play, especially considering their current average game times, considering how this team has been able to close out so far. Yeah, it's a small sample size. We're only in
and
week
one of
2
them was
of
them
the
getting
LCS.
closed out on.
But for a team who has aspirations to be at the top again, and for a team who's talking about how they're ready to come back swinging now that they've got Doublelift and everything's locked and loaded and ready to go, you want to see them finish it on this Baron power play and put their money where their mouth is. Now they're pushing 2 separate lanes at once. It's Broken Blade keeping the bottom lane enchanted with the Baron buff, while everybody else is pushing mid and top together. Tier 2 turrets now down in every single lane. The only thing left standing for Immortals is all within those base walls. Can TSN crack them? It looks like they will. Bottom lane tier 3 turret, 25%. Hey man, no spoilers.
Sorry. I mean,
25%.
I'm looking down the tools here of Immortals. I'm like, all right, we got to build some sort of game plan, some story for them right there. Backed into a corner here. But they honestly just don't even have any damage either. This is the Frozen Heart Ezreal, Frozen Fist Ezreal, Iceborne Gauntlet. So it is more tanky, but it's a 2-carry team, and one of them does not have a lot of juice behind it. Eika also hasn't finished the death cap, so they're close to having a possible powerful shockwave, but honestly, that shockwave even right now isn't very threatening to TSM, and since they have a triple frontline team, there's no way for you to pull a surprise move. When you draft a team like this, you need to have control of objectives early so that your 2 carries can pull a lot of weight and your front line can set them up. But when you are so far behind like this, it means that you don't have any sort of surprise damage to even burst down members of TSM that are out of position.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to be able to get anything... Wait, death cap complete. Okay, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. All right, we've got death cap complete. So as soon as sOAZ hits level 15, he will then be able to enchant that death cap for Eika, and maybe there's a small light shining in the darkness.
And Eika hits 16 next, maybe? Okay.
We'll see.
You need some more experience.
I still think that light shining in the darkness is probably when you close your eyes too hard and you're seeing spots there. It's light. I think it's one of those types of situations for Immortals right now.
I see.
But I mean, if that shockwave that he got in the last fight that we saw that led to the TSM Baron, that was a good shockwave. It found 3 players. It took everybody down to about 40% HP. But the problem is, a shockwave alone a team does not make. They need to have something else around it, and everybody else is just disappearing in front of their very eyes. Spica looking for the opportunity to go in here yet again. sOAZ is the only person he can really do anything on right now. Jumps over the wall, looks for maybe the chance to get a kick, but he won't find it. Can get right back to safety, and the whole TSM squad has arrived, Kobe. They're kicking in the door, and they've made their way into the base. Inhibitor under fire. TSM now backing away. sOAZ has decided to initiate. He fires the Ornn horn off at Bjergsen to interrupt what he thought could be an ultimate channel, but considering Bjergsen was not channeling, nothing has been interrupted. Biofrost looking to engage with the quickness, and here we go. Bjergsen tries to make his way into the fight. The Crow Storm coming up, the damage going down, Doublelift going legendary, and they manage to take down Gate while everyone else retreats. Spica is low on HP. Bjergsen being chased down now by Altec. Immortals looking for some sort of an opportunity to punish here. Shockwave was used, but Doublelift grabs the kill onto Eika. The counterattack from TSM surges forward, and sOAZ is in full retreat with the remaining 2 players on his team. Spica was felled by that True Shot barrage from Altec. However, considering he had Guardian Angel, so close, but still so very far for Immortals as they try to just keep their head above the water here. TSM will rotate over to the mid lane. They will continue the push. Bjergsen sweeping out this area, making sure there's no wards nearby. Over the wall he goes. Crowstorm is down. Altec is out. Ladies and gentlemen, the enemy AD carries out of the picture, and that means the push machine will continue all the way into the heart of the base. Potluck is back alive. Eika will be alive in 5 seconds, but will he even be able to see the Nexus go down? Yes, he will, but that's all he'll get. 2v5 they will not stand. Immortals fall to TSM 30 minutes in.